If you're in class 1 of the does, if you're in class 1 of the does, make your way towards the show.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
They're not breed, so we just sell them by weight.
Okay.
But there's 6 classes of those and 6 of weathers.
Okay.
Class 1 does. Class 1, we're ready for you to enter the show ring. Class 1, should be 7 entries in Class 1. 7 entries.
Guys, let's give all these kids out here a great big round of applause as we get ready to start our doe show out here tonight. We get in here in Class 1 lightweight does, and we have a really nice set to sort through here. Lots of differences, lots of give and take, lots of different in sizes. But guys, there's one that finds its way to the top very easy. Young lady here in the teal colored shirt will be the class winner with the goat that's just the most powerful, the widest and thickest down its top. Really big bone and stout featured. You love the rib shape and the length of hip this goat has in him. A really nice goat to start our class out with. We're going to move for second place to a goat that really doesn't probably follow in type and kind, but is the second heaviest muscle, the second most expressively topped goat we have out here, and the second freshest handling that we have out here. I do like the added length and extension this goat has. I like the added growth that the goat has. I like the added length of body that the goat has. I'd like to make this one, when we get right in behind it, just a little thicker right there from tail to twist. I'd like to maybe make her just a little bigger bone and stouter footed, but a really nice pair to put on top there. The young man's goat we're going to follow in the third hole here is kind of the combo of both of these goats. He's got some thickness and some shape and some turn to the rib. You like the top shape that it does have. You like the front end. You like how it blends from front to back. This goat simply needs to handle fresher down the top, needs to handle more shape and expression over the rack and the loin. We move in here to our brown goat. And if we talk these last four goats, are some goats that just need to have more shape and thickness and muscle to them. Of these last four that we have, the brown goat's probably the most expressive right over the rack and the loin, the longest through the hip, one that just needs to be blown apart from front to back. The same can be said for the other three. They need to be thicker, they need to be wider, they need to handle just a little fresher down the top. Guys, let's put our hands together for a great, great set of kids.
Class 2, be ready to come into the ring. Class 2, you need to go through the scales. Through the scales, Mr. Butler. Class 2 goes through the scales. Go through the scales for Mr. Butler and Mr. Campbell. There'll be 7 entries in Class 2. Results of Class 1, Jalen Monk from Valiant 4-H is our class winner. 83, they can weigh 88. Second is Katie O'Rear from Hayworth. Third is Colby Clausen from Hayworth. Fourth is Josie Brown from Smithville 4-H. Fifth is Lillianne Van Gall from Idaville FFA. And sixth is Chesney Long from Hayworth 4-H. Class 2, Class 2. Need to go through the scales, Class 2. Class 2, go through the scales. Should be 7 entries in Class 2.
Really nice set of does here on the top end to sort through. And these two does, you know, at times you want to flip them around, but I think when you study them on the move, that's when they sure enough separate themselves out. Well, the young man's going to start the class of these top two that we have up here. Is simply the most structurally correct. She's the most correct on her back legs. She takes the moves out there like she needs to. We get out here, we talk about her on the side profile. She bounces out the most correctly. She's the best right there through her front 1/3. Guys, when you get your hands on this doe, she handles with a huge, massive rack in her, really deep in that rack. She handles progressively wider as you handle her. She's bigger and leveler on top part of her hip. She's big boned, she's big-footed. I think one that you shall find to start the class with very easily. The young man's doe we're going to have here in second. Guys, when you handle this one, she may have more actual width of muscle and depth over that rack and over her loin. She doesn't handle as much freshness, though. She doesn't handle as much expression. And guys, what really gets this one is her structural correctness. She wants to be a little more restricted in her movement on her back end. She wants to keep her legs up under herself, and she wants to get just a little tighter right there behind her shoulders from me. But one's got a lot of shape, and got a lot of dimension of muscle, just needs to handle with a little more freshness. The young man got in the class here with two that were really good above him. This goat right here kind of fits the mold of them. Just needs to have more shape and expression of muscle over that rack and that loin. Needs to be blown apart wider than the top. We get into 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. There are some goats that do need to handle more shape. And as I talk about shape, we want that rack to stick up on top of them. We want it to be wide like you talk about a hog. When you get that rack and you handle that to that loin, you want to be able to feel that width and dimension. Those goats there need to be wider and thicker through that rack and that loin. Need to just have more shape and thickness of muscle from front to back. Guys, once again, let's put our hands together for a great set of kids.
And they're clear of the ring, and we'll be ready for Class 3 does. Class 3, there should be 5 entries in Class 3. In Class 2, our class winner goes to Jensen Story from Valiant FFA. Second, Colton Taylor from Broken Bow FFA. Third is Corbin Murray from Smithville FFA. Fourth is Alyssa Long from Hayworth 4-H. Fifth is Alyssa Long from Hayworth 4-H. And sixth is Alyssa Long from Hayworth 4-H. We're ready for Class 3. Class 3, 5 entries.
Once again, a really nice set of goats to sort through here, and I think as we get out here, there's one that finds its way to the top fairly easily. The young man's belted goat there is going to be the class winner. Guys, this goat on the side profile bounces out really well. You get your hands on him, lots of shape and thickness and muscle down her top. You like the way that loin blends in, and it's really big and thick in the hip. She's longer and leveler out of her hip. Another big area for me is I think she's fuller and square right there behind her shoulders if we compare her back to our second place doe. Really big boned, big footed, a nice one to start the class with. Not taking anything away from the young man's predominantly white goat that we have in second. One that you do appreciate on the side profile. You appreciate the mass this goat has, the width it has when it comes at you and walks away. But as we get out here and we start to analyze this goat and break it down and start to talk about balance, wants to get a little pinch right there in the heart girth when you come in right behind the shoulders, wants to break a little bit right behind the shoulders. We work our way to the hip, wants to be a little shorter and steeper out of the hip, but a really nice pair of goats there on top. Our young lady we're going to have here in third has one that just gets out-powered when we talk about muscle, shape, and thickness. This goat needs to be wider and thicker from front to back. Needs to probably, when we start talking about stoutness of bone, needs to be bigger boned and bigger footed and probably balance out just a little bit more correctly. If you like the levelness and squareness of hip, you like the depth she has from tail to twist, just needs to be a little thicker from front to back. The same can be said for the other two in the class right here. Are some goats that you like the amount of muscle they do have, but as we compare them back to our class winners, we need to see more muscle, we need to see more mass, we need to have fresher, more shape and muscle to the handle, and we also need to just make them stouter and bigger bone. Guys, let's give these kids a great big round of applause.
We're ready for Class 4. Class 4 does. Should be 7 head in Class 4. You make your way to the show ring. Results of Class 3. First goes to Tanner Rogers from Smithville, FFA. Second, Thomas Hilton from Smithville, FFA. Third, Chesney Long, Hayworth, 4-H. Fourth to Lillian Van Gaal from Idabel, FFA. And fifth goes to Lexi Clausen from Hayworth, 4-H.
once again, a really nice set of goats to sort through here, and I think we kind of wind up with a pair here on the top that kind of, number one, they fit together. They're the same type and kind, but they have that look about them, and they kind of rise themselves up to the top fairly easily. I think we have to separate these two out. You got to get your hands on them. The young man that wins the class just simply out-handles the goat we have in second place. One that handles with more width and expression and muscled over the rack and the loin, bigger and thicker on the top part of his hip, on top part of her hip. She also has more length up to her hip. She's a little square right there in her hip. You like the added muscle she has when you get right in behind her. You love the rib shape she has to her. I think another area where she kind of goes ahead and excels over the other goat, I think she's probably balanced out more correctly, and she balances through that front 1/3 more feminine. She's taller at the point of her shoulders. Her neck comes out of her shoulders more correctly. A really nice, attractive goat. If we could change her and fix her, we need to get those back feet up on her pastern just a little bit stronger. She wants to kind of break right there ever so slightly. The young man's goat we're going to have in second follows a lot of the same type and kind of our class winner there. We talk about one that is balanced and put together very nicely. It is. Big bone, big footed. I do like the back leg on this goat more correctly than our goat that wins the class. But we start to break this goat down. We start to work it back over our class winner. Wants to almost be just a little more piecey at times. Wants to be a little tighter right there when you get right in behind the shoulder. Wants to be a little shorter right there in the hip. And doesn't have quite the freshness and expression of muscle that our class winner has, but a really nice goat for the young man. The young lady comes in here in third, just happened to get in one of those classes that had two really powerful goats up above her. This goat here, if we talk about the ones we have left, is the thickest muscle, the heaviest muscle that we have out here. You like the shape and expression the goat has down his top and through his leg. You like the added length of hip that the goat has as compared to our second place goat. This goat just gets out powered when we talk about power and muscle and structure. This goat needs to be wider and thicker from front to back. This goat needs to be bigger boned and bigger footed. Let's give the young lady a nice round of applause. We move in here to our fourth place goat. One that we get in here to fourth place, and one of those goats that doesn't balance out quite like we'd like to see it. We'd like to make this goat a little taller at the point of the shoulders. We'd like to have this goat blend in a little more correctly when we get it out here on the side profile. As we move through the other goats in the class, we have some goats that do have some volume of rib. They have some muscle to them. We need to have more shape. We need to have more expression. We need to have a little more fresher handle to the touch. And some of them just need to have a little more natural width and thickness from front to back. Guys, let's put our hands together for a great set of kids.
Okay, we'll let these clear the ring. Class 5. Class 5 will be the next one in the ring. Class 5 needs to go through the scales with Mr. Butler over there. Go through the scales, Class 5. Should be 6 entries in Class 5. They can weigh 107. Class 5 needs to go through the scales and into the show ring. Results of Class 4. Tanner Rogers, Smithville FFA, is our class winner. Doug Walker, Smithville FFA, was second. Third went to Jared Brown from Smithville FFA. Really good job, Smithville. Fourth, Luke Lundry, Hayworth 4-H. Fifth, Corbin Murray, Smithville FFA. And sixth was Lexi Clausen from Hayworth 4-H. We'll get Class 5 in the ring. 6 entries in Class 5.
really nice set to sort through here once again. We're going to start the class with the young man's kind of cape neck goat that we have out here. Guys, one that when you get out here and you start to study this goat and analyze it, number one on the side profile, it's the most correctly balanced. Everything ties in like it needs to. You love the way this goat flows from its shoulder through the rib into the hip. And you guys, you get your hands on this goat, there's just simply more thickness and shape and muscle over the rack and the loin on this one. Handles fresh to the touch. A really nice goat for the young man to have out here today to start the class. Not taking anything away from the young lady's goat that we have here in second. One that, you all right, dude? I'll catch you next time. The young lady's goat we have here in second, not to take anything away from this goat. One that when you get on there and you look at the side profile, you talk about one that does balance out fairly correctly. We're going to talk about some places, though, that we need to improve that. Guys, from the hip forward on this goat, I love it. The way the rib blends into the shoulder and the neck comes up out of the shoulder. Guys, from that hip forward, that goat is put together about as well as you could make one. You love the rib shape that it has, too, and you love the way everything flows. From the hip back, she wants to get a little shorter and rounder in that overall makeup. We'd like to take and lengthen her out and level her out to make her match the rest of her. Guys, we get our hands on this goat. She doesn't handle with quite as much shape and expression and muscle as our class winner. A goat that really, though, from the hip forward, you love the way she's put together. Our young man comes here in the fourth hole with one that you appreciate when you get your hands on this goat. This goat does not handle like it looks. When it first came out here, I thought, okay, you know, it should handle like this. This young man's done a great job feeding her. It's just one of them that just handles different than it's supposed to. Guy's got a really big rack and a really big loin in this goat, really level and thick out through the hip. The deal is to get this goat, when we get him on the side profile, she doesn't match the other ones that we have out here in class. We need to make her blend better from her front to her back. We need to make her have just a little more natural shape of rib. We need to pull that neck up and out of her shoulder just a little bit. We need to make her bigger rib, bigger boned and bigger footed. The young man we're going to have in the next hole here, one that you appreciate from the shoulder back, really busted open, lots of rib shape, lots of thickness to this goat. This is opposite from our second place. From the shoulder forward, we need to correct this goat. This goat wants to open up really big right there in his blades, kind of gets his blades thrown out just ever so slightly. His neck wants to set lower in her. We need to take and pull her up and fix her in those blades, and I think we could have a really nice goat. The next two we have coming up in class are two that do have some balance and some eye appeal to them. We need to make them wider and thicker from front to back. We need to bust them open. Guys, let's give these kids a great big round of applause.
Clear the ring and we'll be ready for our sixth and final class of does. There'll be 3 entries in class 6. 3 entries in class 6. Results of class 5. First goes to Jay Slundry from Hayworth 4-H. Second goes to Sky Gammon from Broken Bow 4-H. Third to Colby Clausen, Hayworth 4-H. Fourth, Corbin Murray, Smithville FFA. Fifth, Jesse Wyatt, Hayworth FFA. And sixth, Lillian Van Gaal, Idabel FFA. Should be 3 entries in class 6. 3 entries.
round out our doe show here with a really nice trio to work through here, and I think there's one that just finds its way to the top very easily for me. The young lady in the middle with the Cape Neck goat's going to be your class winner. Guys, this goat puts so many positives together. As we talk about her just on her profile, guys, she bounces out awesome. You love the way she blends from front to back. You get your hands on her. She's big and thick over her rack. She has a really thick, full loin in her. She really handles level and full and square out through her hip. One that you really appreciate. So many things about this goat. One that's going to be kind of nice to see how she falls up in the grand lineup when we come in. The young lady's kind of gray-faced goat here we're going to have in second is one that probably most closely follows her. When she first came out, I thought she might could give the goat a little bit of a run for the money. Until we got there and we got to studying, she simply doesn't balance out quite like our class winner. She wants to be a little lower and coarser right there through her front 1/3. You do get your hands on her, guys. She does have some shape and thickness of muscle. We need to have just a little more expression, though, as we handle her over her top. We'd like to maybe correct her bounce and freshen her up in her overall appearance. The young man's going to round out our class here. One that you like better on the front 1/3 than you do our second place. You love how tall this goat is in her shoulder. You love the way her neck comes out of there. But guys, this one wants to be just a little bit piecey. She wants to be a little tight right there when you get her right in behind her shoulder. She wants to maybe be just a little narrower. She comes right out of her hip. And as we talk about muscle, shape, and thickness, as we talk about all three of them, this goat needs to be the lightest muscle one we have out here. Guys, let's put our hands together for a great set of kids.
Okay, the results of Class 3 first went to Sky Gammon from Broken Bow 4-H. Second to Camber Westbrook from Broken Bow 4-H. And third to Riker Prince from Valiant 4-H. We're now ready for all of our class winners. We need all 6 of our class winners back into the ring to select our grand champion doe. We need our 6 class winners back in the show ring. Our grand champion doe buckle this year is sponsored by Burke's Road Service. We appreciate their support. And our reserve grand buckle is supplied by Shyrock Trucking. We certainly appreciate all of our sponsor support, and they're really nice buckles that these kids are getting for grand and reserve and showmanship. We have some outstanding sponsors that help support our show and our kids every year. Okay, I think we're ready to bring out our class winners out of Class 1. Jalen Monk from Valiant 4-H. Class 2, Jansen Story from Valiant FFA. Class 3, Tanner Rogers from Smithfield FFA. Class 4, Tanner Rogers from Smithfield FFA. Class 5 is Jace Lundry from Hayworth 4-H. And Class 6, Sky Gammon from Broken Bow 4-H. If you were second or third or fourth in your doe class, please get behind in the makeup area, get behind the chutes so you can come in following your class winner. We're going to line up 12 of these does for sale order. So all the doe showmen need to be ready.
Everybody, let's put our hands together for all our doe exhibitors today. These kids have done a tremendous job. The quality of goats has been fantastic, but even better is the quality of kids we have out here. And guys, I do want you people in the community, in the county here, to commend yourselves on the kids you've raised. They are great. They're polite. They're having fun. That's all that matters. Guys, we get out here and we start to sort through these does for the grand doe, and I'm very pleased with the way they lined up. I think we have 6 class winners out here that all kind of match and resemble each other and kind of all blend together. Guys, there's one out here, though, that I think just walks away with this hand over fist. The young lady out of Class 6 will be your champion.
Be Sky Gammon from Broken Bow 4-H. Be Camber Whisenhunt into the ring.
We bring our second place heavyweight out here. We talk that goat in class as being just really big middle, big ribbed, lots of thickness of muscle. Need to probably handle with a little fresher touch to it, maybe a little more expressive. Needed to probably balance out a little more correctly. Guys, we get out here for our reserve grade, and I think it gets pretty close between three of them. I think all three of them are really good in their own right. There's one of them I think's just a little more what I'm looking for. Blends together a little more correctly, a little bit better through that front 1/3. Young man out of Class 3 will be reserved.
Class 3 will be Tanner Rogers, Smithville FFA. We need Thomas Hilton out of Class 3. Class 5, that will be Jace Lundry from Hayworth. We need Sky Gammon out of 5. Two will be Jansen Story. We need Colton Taylor. Class 4, that will be Tanner Rogers. We need Doug Walker. Class 4 again, that's Doug Walker. We need Jarrah Brown. Jarrah Brown out of Class 4. We need Jarrah Brown out of Class 4. Jarrah Brown out of Class 4. Third in Class 4. There she comes. Class 3, that was Thomas Hilton. We need Chesney Long. Class 1, that's Jalen Monk. We need Katie O'Rear. Class 4, that is Jarrah Brown. Hang on, Jarrah, that's county bred. That will be our best county bred lamb. Give Jarrah number 3. Give her the 3rd card. She is the best county bred and has a plaque sponsored by Long's Goat Farm. We really appreciate the Longs. They've supported the goat show forever. We sure thank them. We need Luke Lundry. We need Luke Lundry. We need Luke Lundry out of Class 4. Luke Lundry out of Class 4. When Luke gets here, we'll be making the 10th selection. We're going to pick 12 in all. So Luke will, when he gets here, we'll be looking for our 10th selection for our doe sale order. Luke coming? Do you see Luke somewhere? Does anybody see Luke coming? Okay.
We can't see that. We're old.
Class 5 will be Sky Gammon out of Class 5. That's number 10. We need Colby Clausen. Class 4. Class 4. That's Luke Lundry, number 11. We need Corbin Murray. Corbin Murray out of Class 4. Class 2 is our 12th and final selection. That will be Colton Taylor. That concludes our doe show. We'll let these clear the ring, and Everybody in the Class 1 weathers get you ready. We'll be ready to start the weather show.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big. Go bold. Go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Okay, our Class 1 Weathers, are you ready for the show ring? Class 1 Weathers. We'll be ready for you to enter the show ring. Class 1. Should be 6 head in Class 1. 6 head in Class 1.
Very, very nice set of goats to start the weather goat show off, and I think we've got 3 up here that are very high quality and each have some give and take. In my mind, there's just one that combines all the things we're looking for when we talk about balance, freshness, muscle, shape, and thickness. The young lady in the sweater there is going to be your class winner. Guys, look at this goat on the side profile, the way this goat blends from front to back. He's long-bodied, but he's strong behind his shoulders. He's long and level out of his hip. You get your hands on him, he's got the widest, thickest rack and loin. He's really thick when you get right in behind him. He's the freshest and the most expressive to the touch. A really, really, really good one for the young lady to start the show with. Not taking anything away from our goat we have here in second. One that handles a lot like our class winner. Got a big, massive rack, a really big loin, really big and thick when you get right in behind him. Where this goat has a little bit of trouble is when you get him on the side profile and you start to study him and break him down. He does, number one, doesn't want to cooperate. Number 2, he doesn't balance out quite as well. He's a little tighter right there behind the shoulders. He wants to break right there. He wants to come up in his loin, and he wants to get just a little bit rounder out of his hip. When he relaxes like he is right now, he's going to the bathroom, he's kind of relaxed a little bit. His hip pops up in him a little bit, and he kind of relaxes. When he gets nervous, he humps up on you and gets in a little ball, kind of like a roly-poly. If we can get him to relax and stretch out, that would sure help him. But a really, really nice goat to be in the second hold. Young lady here in third place. Guys, let's put our hands together for just the young lady in third place. These goats can be a lot like sheep. They have a mind of their own, and you just got a little bitty chain here you're trying to control them with. The lady here brings us a goat that is designed really nice. I love this goat through the front 1/3. I love how tall he is at his shoulder, and I love the way his shoulder blends into his body. He's long-bodied. He's level out of his hip. He's got a lot of muscle to him. Where we need to change him, we need to get a little more expression to him. We need to get a little firmer touch. We need to get just a little bit more freshness and muscle to him, and I think that would really help him out. Guys, let's put our hands together for this young lady doing a tremendous job out here. We come in here to our 4th place. We got a really large outline, big frame goat that's really long body. You like the way this goat balances out. You get your hands on him though, we need to see more mass and muscle. He needs to be thicker behind his shoulders. He needs to progressively get wider as we go down his top. The young man's goat we have in second, you like the rib shape he has, you like the balance the goat has. Oops. You like the balance he has in the rib shape. We need to see more mass and thickness and muscle. The young lady has a really stout-made, heavy bone goat here. It comes up to round out our class. We need to freshen this goat up. We need to put more shape and expression and muscle down his top. Guys, let's put our hands together for a great set of kids.
Okay, we'll get Class 1. We'll be ready for Class 2 to come in the show ring. There should be 6 entries in Class 2. Class 2, you can enter the show ring. 6 entries. Results of Class 1. Luke Lundry, Hayworth 4-H. Was our class winner. Jackie Carnes from Smithville FFA was second. Third went to Miley Williams from Broken Bow 4-H. Fourth, Jance Allen, Hayworth 4-H. Fifth, Tanner Rogers, Smithville FFA. And sixth went to Kinsey Fennell from Valiant FFA.
really interesting set of goats to kind of sort through here, and they're jumping around and making it hard to handle here. Our goat that wins the class, Dad, you're getting blamed for the way this goat acts. He said he doesn't like cold weather. My dad cut all his hair off, and he's jumping around on me, so I understand. I'm a dad too. But guys, once this guy settles down and you can get your hands on him, man, he is packed full of muscle. He's got the biggest, widest, thickest rack in the class. He's big and thick in his loin. He's level and long out of his hip. When he gets on the move, he puts it all together in the right package. He balances out correctly. A really, really nice weather for the young man to show. The goat in second, man, this guy's surprised you. I mean, he comes in, he doesn't look like he's going to handle. You get your hands on him, he's got the second most expressive rack out here, the second thickest rack. He's really square, and I like the way his loin sets up on top of his ribs. He's got it's almost like a 2x4 laid up in him. Falls that into his loin. He's level out of his hip, big bone, stout made. This goat's problem is he's a thick-hided goat. He's got some wrinkles to him. It throws off his appearance. It throws off his freshness. But a goat that's packed full of muscle. Third and fourth, flip-flop them if you want to. The goats are kind of similar in their overall makeup. Both these goats have a lot of shape and expression of muscle. They don't have as much thickness as our first and second place do. We like to take both those goats and blow them up and give them more mass and muscle from front to back. Our goats we have here in fifth and sixth are some goats that do have that extra length and style and balance to them. They're big frame, they're large outline goats. They just need to be thicker and wider from front to back. Guys, let's put our hands together for a great set of kids tonight.
We'll let Class 2 clear the ring. We'll be ready for Class 3 weathers. Class 3, you need to see Mr. Butler over there at the scales. Mr. Butler and Mr. Campbell. Come through the scales there, Class 3. Class 3, come through the scales and into the show ring. Should be 6 head in Class 3. Results of Class 2 first went to Cruz Gammon from Eagletown 4-H. Second to Corbin Murray from Smithfield 4-H. Third, Laney Hamlin, Broken Bow. Fourth, Sophie Manning, Wright City FFA. Fifth, Corbin Murray, Smithfield FFA. And sixth went to Reagan Lockhart, Hayworth FFA.
probably the most challenging class of goats we've had to sort through today, and we have some structural issues in these goats, and then we just don't have that one that rises up and says, "Here I am." We got a lot of them all the same type of muscle, a lot of them same type of finish, a lot of same type of condition. So we're having to kind of get nitpicky on some things. I think the one, though, that probably comes to the top easiest for me is the young lady in the sweater there with her Cape goat. Guys, when you talk about balance, this is the most correctly balanced one we have out here. Tall at the point of his shoulders, really puts everything together, strong in his lines, level and long out of his hip. Muscle, he's got enough shape and thickness of muscle down his top. He's wide enough over his rack and his loin. He's thick when you get in behind him. He's big bone. If I could take him and change him, I'd like to make this guy take a longer step off that back end. And I know that sometimes we get into the goats and we don't think structure is as important as some of the other animals maybe. But this guy right here, he takes a short, choppy step off his back end. I'd like to take and lengthen that stride and make him get out and go just a little bit easier. The young lady's goat we have in second is just one that kind of kept working his way up in the class. One that is, when we talk about balance, he balances out okay. He's a little maybe coarser right to that front 1/3 as we talk him back over the class winner. He needs to maybe blend a little bit more correctly right there. He's got enough shape and thickness of muscle over that rack and that loin. He's big and long out of his hip. He may be just a little thicker when you get right in behind him, especially as you get from his tail to his twist. He may be a little bigger bone, a little bigger footed. He does take a longer stride. We'd like to correct him just a little bit in his balance and make him just a little bit better. The goat here in third, the belted goat, absolutely gave me the most trouble. He resembles our class winner on the side profile. He balances out extremely well. You like the way he puts himself together. You like the way he balances out. You like the length he has, the structure he has behind his shoulders there. This goat, guys, when we get to analyze him of our top three, he's probably the narrowest and the lightest muscled. He's not quite as wide in his rack or in his loin. You get him from behind, he wants to be a little narrow right there through lower portions of his stifle. He's wanting to throw both his front legs out and his back legs out. We need to take and correct him and get those feet squared up on him. But I think one, when you talk about getting him set, getting him stuck, having him looking on the side profile, you got to appreciate the goat for that. The young man brings us another goat in right here that you do like the muscle that this one has. He does have a lot of muscle. He's probably heavier muscle than our third place in the class. This goat doesn't balance out very well. He wants to be a little lower and coarser through his neck. He wants to be a little weaker in his top line. And guys, you step in and you study him right from behind. You'd like to make him ideally to be a little thicker when you get right in there. Our goats we have in fifth and sixth are some goats that just need to be probably freshened up in their overall condition. They need to have more shape and thickness from front to back. Once again, great set of kids. Let's put our hands together.
We're now ready for Class 4. Class 4. Should be 6 entries in Class 4. Class 4, 6 entries. You can enter the ring. Results of Class 3. First went to Haley Lundry from Hayworth FFA. Second, Camber Westbrook from Broken Bow 4-H. Third to Anna Boland from Idaville FFA. Fourth was Cruz Gammon from Eagletown. Fifth is Haley Mills, Broken Bow FFA. And sixth is Autumn Boland from Idaville FFA.
So far, guys, probably the hardest decision to make in this weather show right here is between these two guys. They are night and day different, but they're both very, very good, and they both deserve to be up here in the first and second place hole. And if you're out there in the stands and you switched them from me, I understand that because I had them back and forth. Guys, they're two complete opposites, and we'll talk about that. The young lady that wins the class, this goat is designed and balanced awesome. Tall at the point of the shoulders, level right there behind his shoulders, level all the way down, a big level square hip. You step in behind the goat, lots of mass and muscle when you get right in behind him. He's bigger boned, he's bigger footed. I love the way his neck comes out of his shoulder. He's put together awesome. He's got enough shape and enough thickness of muscle over his rack and his loin, and I think that does help him. He blends together more correctly, and this is where our second place goat gets in trouble. The second place goat probably has more total mass of muscle over the rack. I'm going to say he may be just a little wider right there as he comes out of his loin. I think when you get in there and talk about hip width, I think it's a wash there between them. The second place goat for me, I need him to balance out a little bit more. I need him to relax that top. I need him to pop up right there behind his shoulders. I need him to lengthen and level out that hip some. I need him to maybe be just a little bigger bone as we're talking back over our class winner. Guys, two great goats. If you see them different, I'm not going to argue with you. Two great goats, guess what? Even better kids. Put your hands together. The young lady who get here in third with this goat here, she just gets in here with two water moccasins. This goat's got a lot of good pieces to him. He's got a lot of balance and shape and thickness and muscle. He just doesn't blend quite as well. He's not as attractive on the side profile. He wants to be a little coarser right there when you get through that front 1/3. Guys, you step in behind this goat, you don't see the mass and muscle that you do in our first and second place out there. A really nice goat to come in third. Fourth, fifth, and sixth place are some bigger frame, bigger outline goats that just need to be wider and thicker from front to back. Guys, put your hands together for an awesome set of kids.
Okay, Class 4, clear the ring. We'll be ready for Class 5. Class 5, you need to come around and go through the scales with Mr. Campbell and Mr. Butler. Should be 5 entries in Class 5, 5 entries. Results of Class 4, first goes to Haley Lundry from Hayworth, FFA. Second, Thomas Hilton, Smithville, FFA. Third is Olivia Wright from Hayworth, 4-H. Fourth is Nicole Harper from Broken Bow, FFA. Fifth, Jackson Allen, Hayworth, FFA. And sixth is Reagan Lockhart from Hayworth, FFA.
I do not want to try to line these up again. Guys, these four here, these top four in this drive are very, very tough. You don't have that one that you like to find in the class that's got the things you're looking for, and you're like, yes, that's it, and you can lock onto that one and run. Lots of sort, lots of give and take, lots of just having to accept some things about some of the goats and push some to the side that you do like a few things about them. Guys, the goat that wins the class, young lady right here on my left, this is the most powerful made goat out here. He has the widest, thickest rack. He has the widest, thickest loin. He's the longest and levels out of his hip. This goat progressively gets wider from front to back. As you handle him over his loin and his rack, he just keeps getting wider. You fall him to a big, wide, thick hip. He's big-boned. He's big-footed. If I could change him a little bit, I might like to make him blend just a little more smoothly through that front 1/3. He's a little coarser for me. That's probably why he's got so much muscle. He's a little coarser made. But I think one I can find in here to start the class. Guys, I've been all over the board with this one. This one right here is the one I landed on to start the class with. The young lady we have in second comes in as being the one that handles the second best out here. And we talk about that. Wide and thick over the rack, progressively gets wider as you go over the rack and the loin into the hip once again. I think where this goat gets beat is she's not as thick and heavy muscled as our goat that wins the class. I'd like to see her too, a little bit cleaner through that front 1/3 and balance out a little more correctly. And guys, third and fourth, holy cow, I don't know. The third place goat here, big frame, large outline. This one, you do like the way this goat puts his front third together. You like how that goat is to the front 1/3. You like how it blends from his head, shoulder, and neck. You like how that goat blends on the side profile. Of our top three, though, this goat gets to be the narrower made, the lighter muscled, and needs to be freshened up in the loin. Wanting to wash out in the loin, you can see right there where it fixes, where he's going to come in from his hip to his loin. He dips in right there. He needs to be freshened up there. He needs to be fresher from front to back, like the structure of the goat, like the build of the goat. Fourth place, good grief. This thing worked me over, okay? The things I like about this goat, I like the balance. He's put together like the goats I like. He's big-boned, he's stout, okay? He blends good. He balances. He's strong in his lines. Hun, when I get my hands on him, he kind of disappoints me. He's a little overdone. He's kind of like me. I was really good 20 years ago. I'm just barely hanging together today. He's not as wide and thick over his rack, and what really got him, Hun, is that when I got in that loin and I started handling where he fixed to go in that hip, he's washed out, he's losing that, he's rolling on both ends. He's just not fresh enough. I bet 3 months ago he was awesome, okay? 20 years ago, I was too. The young man we're going to have here in fifth that rounds out the class, he rounds out the class with a big frame, large outline goat. Like the others we have, he needs to be fresher. He needs to have more shape and muscle. He needs to balance out just a little more correctly. Guys, let's put our hands together for a great set of kids.
I'm not sure about 20 years ago, Mick.
15?
We're ready for Class 6, our final class of wethers. There will be 4 entries in Class 6. Results of Class 5. First went to Bree Mills from Broken Bow 4-H. Second, Maddie Wright from Broken Bow. Third is Sky Gammon from Broken Bow. Fourth is Haley Lundry from Hayworth FFA. And fifth is Jackson Allen from Hayworth FFA. While we're kind of wrapping up our final weather class here today, we've had three young ladies and young gentlemen that have been helping us in the ring all day long. Mr. Drew Hardaway and Emily Farley and Lexi Clarity. Everybody give them a big round of applause. We certainly appreciate all the work that they've put in. And Crystal Pratt from Brumley Funeral Home has been taking pictures all night long. That's probably going to be on Facebook and on this monitor up here Saturday night. So there'll be a lot of those things going on Saturday night during the premium sale.
Really nice set of goats to wind up the classes tonight. And the one that wins the class, guys, I think wins it fairly easily. A goat that balances out extremely well. You love the way this goat is put together and built. You love him through that front 1/3. He's strong and level behind his shoulders. He's long and level out of his hip. Guys, when you get your hands on him, he doesn't disappoint you. He's big, massive, and wide down that rack and that loin. A really good goat to start the class with. Not taking anything away from our young lady we have in second place there. She's got the second heaviest muscle goat out here, one that does get wider as you handle that goat from front to back. Big wide rack, big wide loin. You come in behind, lots of muscle and shape right back behind this goat. This goat on the side profile does not balance out quite like our class winner. He wants to be a little deeper, a little coarser fronted through that front 1/3. We take and elevate him there, clean that up. We get a little closer in that pair. Young lady with the predominantly red goat here in the third place hole. A big goat, a big frame, large outline goat, has some shape and expression of muscle down the top. We need to freshen that goat up. We need to make him handle just a little firmer to the touch. We're going to round out the class with the other really big, large outline goat. This goat here gets to be of our top 4 out here, gets to be the narrow-made, lighter muscle. Guys, let's put our hands together for a great set of kids.
Okay, we'll be ready to show for our grand champion weather just momentarily. All those class winners, if you'll line up over here in the holding pens like we've done throughout the day. We'll line up each class and come through those holding pens. First in class 6 was Sky Gammon from Broken Bow. Second was Bree Mills from Broken Bow. Third was Avonlea Wright from Hayworth. And fourth was Delaney Kemp from Wright City. We need all 6 of the class winners over here in the holding pens. All 6 of the class winners. And if you were second or third or fourth, you also need to be on standby. Looks like we've got all 6 class winners there. We'll introduce them as we came in. Out of class 1 was Luke Lundry from Hayworth. Out of class 2 is Cruz Gammon from Eagletown. Out of class 3, Haley Lundy from Hayworth. Out of class 4 is Haley Lundry from Hayworth. Class 5 is Bree Mills from Broken Bow. And class 6 is Sky Gammon from Broken Bow.
Guys, let's put our hands together for all our goat exhibitors today. We've had a tremendous set of goats come through this ring, and the best part is we've had even better kids showing them. Guys, I got to pick your grand reserve, line yourself up, and do the showmanships. And before I pick that, I do want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for having me down here. It's been great. I know everybody down here thinks it's cold. I feel awesome. It's the perfect weather. I'm fixing that to head back north, and I think it's like 20-something degrees up there, so I guess it's what we got to do. You guys, you need to be commended for the kids you've raised down here. Respectful, have fun. They do a great job. You kids showing these goats. I need you tonight when this is all over, I need you to take a little bit of time and hug your mom and dad and thank them for this. Tell your ag teacher you appreciate what they do. Because, guys, without those people, this probably wouldn't happen. I need you guys to also remember something. Not too far from this spot, I guarantee you there's some kids sitting at home right now that would love to be out here showing that'll never have the opportunity to do that. So keep that in mind. Win, lose, or draw. Okay? Keep that in mind. I want to thank the ag teachers down here. I know most of them. It's a great set of guys that you have down here. Let's give our ag teachers a big round of applause. They've got about 2 or 3 sleepless nights coming to them here, and then they'll get a little bit of rest before you guys head into your district show or into OIE or wherever you go from here. But, guys, it's great to come down here and see all the ag teachers working together and to see the kids working together. Guys, we get out here for our grand goat, and it gets close. It comes down between 2 goats in my mind. Guys, I don't think it gets really close once you get your hands on them. Class 6 is your grand.
Sky Gammon from Broken Bow. She has our grand champion. We need Bree Mills second in Class 6.
We bring that second place heavyweight out here, and we talk that goat as just one that was just massive when you got your hands on him. Needed to be cleaned up through that front 1/3, needed to blend up just a little bit better. And, guys, that still kind of haunts that goat out here when we get in here for the reserve grand drive. Guys, there's one goat out here that I think fits what we're looking for. Stout, heavy muscled, lots of rib shape, great design. Young lady out of Class 4, you'll be the reserve.
Haley Lundry from Hayworth FFA. We need Thomas Hilton in the ring. We're going to line up 10 of these out of Class 2. Class 2, that will be number 4. Should be number 4. Cruz Gammon. We need Corbin Murray out of Class 2. Class 4, that's Thomas Hilton. He will be number 5 in the sale order. We need Olivia Wright. Olivia. Out of Class 5, we have Bree Mills. She is number 6. And we need Maddie Wright. Out of Class 1, First is Luke Lundry. That should be number 7. We need Jackie Carnes. Class 3 is Haley Lundry. That's number 8. Out of Class 5, that is Maddie Wright, is number 9. We need Sky Gammon out of Class 5. This will be the 10th and final selection. But Avelina Wright, be sure and stay right there. Class 4 is our 10th and final selection. Nope. That's Olivia Wright. Olivia, right? Olivia's number 10. Over here, you're right here. You're right. Okay, Avelina Wright. Avelina Wright. If you'd come over here to the announcer stand. Avonlea, come over to the announcer stand. Here, Emily. Present that to her. Avonlea has our best county bred lamb. Kind of shook out in the show. So she is number 3 in the sale order. Okay, we'll be ready to start our senior showman. And they are 14 and over. 14 and over will be our seniors. 9 to 13 are the juniors. And 8 and under are the peewees. So if you're 14 and over and you want to be in the goat showmanship, you need to be entering the ring. 14 and over, enter the ring. $14 and over is our senior showmanship. 14 and over. If you're 14 and over, make your way to the show ring. crowd's kind of thinning out, and we're getting down towards the end of the show, but I know there's one really important thing we need to do, and that's we need to thank Mr. Mick Clark for coming down here and working with our kids. He's done an outstanding job. Thank you, Mick. Our champion senior showman buckle is sponsored by Horsehead Ranch. Be sure and thank them anytime you get that opportunity.
Guys, let's put our hands together for this great set of showmen out here. All these kids are doing awesome. Any one of you guys can come show goats for me, and I'd love to have you guys up there in Morris, America. Guys, I know the crowd's thin, and we need to do a few little housekeeping deals before we finish up here. Number one, guys, let's put our hands together for all the people that put this show on. A show does not put itself together. It takes a lot of hours and a lot of manpower, so let's put our hands together. Next thing, guys, let's put our hands together for all our sponsors we have. Without those sponsors, guys, you don't have the prizes and stuff that you have right here tonight, so that's a great thing. Guys, once again, I've enjoyed being here, and I know I got two more, and I'll probably say it again because I really have had a great time being here today. Guys, we get down here into the senior showman, and it's close between two individuals. There's just one individual that's maybe just a little calm, a little more relaxed in their movements, and sometimes when you're calm and relaxed, your animal's calm and relaxed. The young lady on the far end, she'll be your champion.
Haley Lundry from Hayworth FFA. If you're 9 to 13, 9 to 13. We get the ring clear, it'll be your turn. 9 to 13. Anybody that's 9 to 13 that wants to be in the showmanship contest? Nine to 13. Our buckle for our junior intermediate division is Smith Excavation. Again, they've sponsored 2 buckles for us here tonight, so we certainly want to thank them for all that they do.
Guys, let's put our hands together for our intermediate showman here. Great set of kids out here working their tails off tonight, making my job really, really tough. You intermediate guys are kind of like some of my 8th graders I have. You're a little jittery, a little wiry. You might need to work on maybe just calming down just a little bit and going a little slower in your motions, and that sure might help you with your goats just a little bit. Guys, it gets down in my mind between 2 or 3 kids out here, and they get down in just little things, and it's one that just almost every time I look at this individual, they've got that goat set and ready to go. The feet may not always be perfect, but that's part of life sometimes. They're trying as hard as they can. The young lady second from the end in the green and white 4-H shirt, she's your champion showman.
Olivia Wright is our champion intermediate showman, Hayward, 4-H. Olivia Wright. We'll let these clear the ring, and it'll be 8 and under for our peewees. 8 and under. 8 and under. 8 and under. You can take the show ring. It's all yours. Our Pee-wee buckle is sponsored by Shyrock Oil, and they help sponsor buckles every year, so be sure they'll probably be here Saturday night. Someone sure needs to thank them for that.
Guys, this is an awesome way to end the night here. Guys, put your hands together for these two guys out here. They're having fun, and I'm having fun working with them. Apparently, they're best friends, and that makes it even better. Guys, once again, before I get off this thing and start heading back north, thank you so much for having me out here today. It's been a blast, and I just have enjoyed myself so much. Guys, I don't know what to do in this deal, but I think there's one that's just a little calmer, and that's what I'm going to go with. The young lady with the red goat, she's your champion.
Avonlea Wright from Hayward. Looked like a sister deal to me. That brings our goat show to a close. We'll see you here tomorrow about noon when we start the cattle show. Noon tomorrow for the cattle show, and the hogs will follow.
wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big. Go bold. Go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.